Society's road will fail you. So I want to start this video with a little story because I think it's kind of fits well to the topic of this video. 2 days ago, on Friday, I was at a restaurant with my parents and with some friends of my parents, and I experienced an emotion that I haven't experienced. I haven't experienced this for years. So we were eating, and after eating, the friend of my mother said something that really let me feel some like emotion of sadness, of not belonging, and yes, being the outsider. Yes, and this was a very familiar feeling for me because I remember every time when we were out like eating or meeting our family, like not my parents but like aunts and uncles, I was also feeling this like sadness, this not belonging and being the outsider. And the reason for this is almost all of my family members, like uncles and aunts, like were way wealthier and had way more money than we had and we have. It's not like they were super rich. I don't know exactly what they have. They could live like very comfortably. So it was like every time when we were meeting for dinner or just meeting, for example, Christmas, Easter, or like not on holidays, but birthdays, like whenever there was a meeting with them or with other like friends of my parents who had like more money, it was literally like two worlds were colliding. Two worlds were like actually colliding because two world views were colliding in that moment. Because I'm remembering they were, for example, talking about the newest holidays, or where they went this season, or like where they went for skiing in the Austrian Alps, like kind of far away from where we live. And I'm like sitting there listening to this as a young kid, remembering that we haven't been on holidays for years. Like we haven't been away for years because there was just no money for it. And sometimes they were talking about like in some conversation about the new property they bought, or maybe some new car they had. And on the other hand, I was sitting there and remembering, okay, they are buying all these properties and etc. And we're living like at home, like at our grandfather's house, upstairs in a small apartment that is way too tiny for us, where my brother and I, where we have to share like a room until we were 18. It was like such a contrast, like such a difference. Yes, and then as I said, like in a restaurant, for example, they were ordering what they wanted, what they wanted to eat that day, and saying stuff like, okay, yes, great, this restaurant isn't that expensive, so yeah, take what you want, son, like to my cousins, for example. My parents always told me to not order something that expensive. I also remember this was like the case for a long time, that I could order like one drink, and after that, no matter how thirsty I wasn't allowed to drink another drink or to have another drink. One drink was enough. I would have never dared to order something about like 15 or 20 euros. And yes, this might sound pretty like whiny and like a first world problem. And yes, there are also people who don't have enough to eat, for example. We were way above that. I would say like not poverty but low middle class maybe. Yes, so I realize and I'm aware that there are people who are way worse off than we were, and probably some people can't relate, but maybe there are some people who can relate and know the experiences that I had. Yes, and living in such a contrast really made me feel like the outsider, or like yeah, also sad because I wasn't able to have, or I couldn't have what they had. It was like they were privileged, but I wasn't. And I mean, if everybody else around you has the life that you want, or like a better life, of course you fucking want that. And it was like something that's just in front of your nose, because like when we were invited to them, like it was like almost we were experiencing it, or I was experiencing it. It was like just in front of my nose, but I just couldn't grab it. It was like just out of reach. Yes, and I would say this was like the experiences that were kind of painful for me, and that motivated me to like escape this lower middle class, to really become rich and wealthy. Because that's my goal. I'm not there yet, but I think this is what triggered it. And this brings me to the point why society's route will fail you. Because lately it really makes me angry and really annoys me that my parents tell me like almost every day that I should get like a normal job, like to go down society's route. They tell me to stop the kindergarten and do something productive, not productive, but what do they say? Stop the kindergarten and do something useful. Yeah, and it really sucks because I really want like more out of my life for myself, and I want to reach like higher levels of wealth. I want to be financially successful. I'm working on that, and it really isn't helpful at all if somebody really talks that down and like is against you and thinks that what you're doing is bullshit. Obviously it's not because, I mean, they are evil or anything. That's not, but they're just really bought into society's thinking and society's paradigm. And the thing that annoys me the most is that they want me to go down the route and the route that society laid out for me, but it was the exact same route that made them struggle with money, like as long as I can think back. As long as I can think back, they struggled with money, and we struggled with money, and life was kind of shit. First world problems again, but it sucked in my memories at least. And they were worker class, and they want me to be in that worker class again, and I don't want that at all. So yeah, I really believe like the whole roadmap of society is like a fairy tale. Let's review it very quick. Like, what does society tell you what will happen if you go down society's road, the roadmap that they laid out for you? So it says basically, okay, just be nice, and then you will get a girlfriend, and you marry your high school sweetheart, and you will buy a house, and you get kids with her, and you will be a happy family. Then you will get like a normal job if you have good grades and you work hard in school, and the normal job will pay well. You won't have financial problems, and then you have very nice co-workers, and all they like and respect you because you're a funny and charismatic guy, and you know how to talk to people, and they want to hang out with you after work. Now you have cool friends, and then you have like a very normal, cool life with no problems at all. But I know for a fact that this would never ever work for me, and not because I don't want that. I mean, if this would be possible for me, I would have been the happiest guy ever. I would have taken this like immediately. I want that. But I very early on realized that all this story that is told me by society and Hollywood, this stuff doesn't work for me. It's not working out. It's not working out like it's said in TV and told me in Hollywood movies and Disney movies. And I know, like, if I would trust this society's route, and if I would try it out and go down this route, I would be fat, overweight. I mean, this is the same. I would be in very, very bad health condition. I would be poor, and I would be lonely, and I would be sad. I would be unhappy forever. I know that for a fact. And yes, you maybe know what I'm talking about. You may had like similar experience that this society's route won't work out for you. For example, let's say maybe you had the same experience as I. You had a crush, for example, in high school or school. Here in Germany, it's just school. And you hope, okay, maybe she has mutual feelings, and yes, it would be so awesome, and you're planning on everything, and she's your high school sweetheart, and you want to marry her. And then you just realize, okay, she doesn't even know that you exist. And if she does know that you exist, like, for sure, her feelings were not mutual. Like, you were hoping so bad that she likes you back, but of course not. This is the reality. This is what happened. Okay, and then the thing with the job. There's something where you have to go every day to get maybe a couple thousand of euros or dollars or pounds. And the society's lifestyle is very like consumer-based lifestyle, where you like have a lot of expenses. You have to have the newest clothes, the newest iPhone, the newest video games, etc. You have to have a cool apartment. Like, everything is very expensive. And almost all of your money you earn a month is gone. This is also what happens if you go down society's route. Of course you have to fit in, of course you have to be cool. Of course you need the newest clothes, etc. And it's not cool to sit here in some stinky sports shirt in some bullshit little cabin that looks like, I don't know, it's not cool to live in something like that and to show it on camera. So basically it's like almost a slavery job where you earn some money, but it's like already gone at the end of the month. So you're very dependent on that job. And if something happens, then if, for example, the car breaks or the washing machine breaks, then you are in debt. And now life becomes like a struggle. Then you have like, okay, you're kind of charismatic and the people like you, and they want to hang out with you, and they think you're funny, and Yes, this might be true for some people, but if you are like me, and I assume you are like me, if you're watching this, maybe somewhat like me, then this also doesn't happen. Then you're probably very introverted and shy and you don't know how to talk to people. And if you talk to people, sometimes you maybe just did something weird that just annoyed the people, and that now the people think you're weird, and you learn from this experience, and soon you realize, okay, maybe it's better if I don't talk to people anymore, because then they don't hate me, then I don't annoy them, then I won't put them off. Then you're not the guy who's funny and charismatic and who is invited and who's the center of attention. Then you are, at max, you are the guy who's just there but not saying anything, and who's like not really invited, but who's his acceptance, his presence is accepted. Okay, he's just there. Okay, fine. But it will never be like that you are really like wanted, that they want you to be there. They just accept your presence. And that is what happens if you're not good with people and you lack social skills and you go down society's road. And so with all this stress at work, and then your boss is yelling at you because you're sleep deprived, because then you come to work a bit late, and then she or he yells at you, but you can't speak up because you're dependent on that job again. And then you have nobody to talk to at the job, and you're almost like very introverted and sitting there, and it's like very pain to sit there for 8 hours, and then your self-esteem almost goes to zero. Like you have no friends, and then you come home, and like the only 3 things you can do, maybe there's some more, but like the things that you will do to get pleasure are probably the following 3 things. As soon as you come home, because you're stressed, you will eat some bullshit, delicious but bullshit, unhealthy junk food. Then you will go immediately to bed, where you will jerk off to porn or watch Netflix until you fall asleep, because this is the only thing that like gives you pleasure. This is the only thing that will make you feel better, or some kind of pleasure, because your life otherwise would suck. And this is exactly what would happen to people like who are similar to me, at least. Maybe not for everybody, but this is what will happen, what would have happened to me, and what will happen to me if I stop working on myself. 100%, I know this for a fact. This will happen to me if I stop working on myself and if I go down the normal route. And yes, I kind of know myself kind of well. First of all, I'm usually a person that if he does things kind of extreme, in the extreme, gym or drinking alcohol or etc. I almost never drink alcohol. I never drank until my 21 birthday. Like I'm 22 now. I'm about to be 23, and like I think 1 year ago I drank for the first time. And I'm also a person who's usually very, very lazy. I think all of this will happen to me if I don't discipline myself to always do the right things, or most of the time do the right things. And this is the reason why I work on myself and why I'm into self-improvement. If I think about it right now, probably self-improvement saved my life. I'm not sure whether I will cut this out or not, but because I know myself, I would have ended, or I will end up, if I don't discipline myself, as an overweight loser with no self-esteem whatsoever, broke in my parents' place, being unhappy, being sad, probably crying every night, no chance of ever getting a girl or of like girlfriend, probably in a very, very like dark and dirty room. So yeah, some final words. There might be some people out there that society's route will work for. Yeah, they also might be happy with it. But if you lack some especially social skills, if you have poor social skills, then I think this will end very, very badly. So yes, if you could resonate with these words and these like little visualization, I invite you to come with me on that journey of self-improvement, like a journey away from the overweight, lonely, sad, broke, low self-esteem version of ourselves towards like a very healthy, strong, happy, wealthy version of ourselves, like a person with abundance. That's a person I'm striving to, and yeah, I invite you to come with me on that journey. So yes, I hope you liked this video, and again, let's stop talking and let's continue building our dream lives.